How you handle your disappointments and your frustration and your failures is absolutely critical to your success as an athlete. God knows during this time we are going through a ton of disappointment and frustration. Our seasons have been canceled, we're not practicing with our teams yet, it's chaos. What I'd like to talk about today is the value of disappointment and failure in you reaching your goals. I'm Dr. Goldberg. I'm a sports performance consultant, and I work with athletes across every sport at every level on helping them overcome performance problems, slumps, blocks, and achieve peak performance. And what's key when we have disappointment and frustration and failure is how we end up looking at it. You have a choice. When things don't go well, when you fail, when you have setbacks, you can look at it as a terrible thing and as evidence of your failings, as evidence of your inadequacy. The problem though is when you mess up, when you fail, and you look at it that way, it only makes you feel worse. The other choice you have when things don't go well, when you have a setback, when you have a failure, is you can look at it as an opportunity and, more importantly, as specific information that you need to end up achieving your goals ultimately. See, because as far as I'm concerned, failure is feedback. It helps you understand what you did that didn't work, what you need to do differently next time. The problem we all have is getting beyond the emotions that are attached to failure. And most of us, when we mess up and when we run into brick walls, we get caught up with the emotions of failure, disappointment, feeling depressed, feeling inadequate, getting angry at ourselves. And there's no constructive value in going down that road. Failure is feedback. Feedback basically is what they call the breakfast of champions. Now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to share with you a personal example of what I'm talking about. All right, I was a Division I tennis player. I played #1 singles at my school. And when I was a sophomore, I was at conference championships and I was in the finals. Had been playing incredibly well and had to play somebody in the finals who had beaten me quite easily a couple of weeks before. It wasn't even close. The day I was playing him, I was sort of in the zone. I was playing out of my mind. I wasn't thinking about anything. I wasn't aware that there were 350 people watching. I wasn't aware that we were the last match on the court and all eyes were on us. All I was doing was focused on one point at a time, one game at a time. Hit a good shot, great, I let it go. I made a mistake, I let it go. Won the first set, 6-3. I'm ahead 5-2 in the second set, and I'm going to be serving for the match. And I had been serving out of my mind that particular day. Had 14, 15 aces. My opponent couldn't touch my serve. In tennis, if you don't know, you change sides on every odd game. It's 5-2, we sit down, towel off, get a drink, and while I'm doing that, I hear a commotion over to my side, and when I look over there, two of the tournament directors, two of the people hosting, were carrying out this huge table, must have been 12 foot long, filled with trophies. And there was one trophy on that table which was the biggest, and that was for the #1 singles player in the conference, for the winner. That was my trophy. I'm 4 points away from winning, I'm serving, it's going to be over in about a minute. And all of a sudden I started to get excited. And I started focusing on outcome, which is a huge no-no when you're an athlete and you're in a performance and you want to do well. And I started to think about what it's going to be like being the conference champion and all that good stuff. And as I got ready to serve, the little voice in my head is like pumped up and instructing me and telling me, come on, you got to hit an ace, you got to do this, you got to do that. The way you perform your best is you don't got to do anything. You just do it. You don't tell yourself, you don't coach yourself, you don't do any of that stuff. And I got so excited, I started to tighten up, and I overhit my first serve. Went 6 feet out. No problem. Start to think, okay, you can do this, you're 4 points away from winning. Another big serve, go for an ace. And in tennis, you don't hit your second serve as hard as your first. You use spin to keep it in. But I wasn't troubled at that moment by deep waves of thought. I was more into the excitement of being the conference champion. So I overhit my second serve and I double faulted. No problem, love 15. Get over to the other side of the court to serve, the ad side. Same thing, I'm thinking, come on, you can do this, you're 4 points away from winning. Double fault again. Now it's love 30. Little voice in my head goes, oh crap, what if I choke? What if I lose? Remember what happened 2 weeks ago? Of course, 2 weeks ago I lost to this guy and I got killed. And then I got really, really nervous and I started to panic a little bit. Hit my serve so slow, took about a half an hour for it to get from my side to my opponent's side. And my opponent, of course, started to notice that I was beginning to tighten up and choke. Comes in, crushes the ball down the line for a winner, and to make a very long, painful story short, he broke my serve, 5-3, held serve, 5-4, broke me again, 5-5, beat me 7-5 in the second set, so now it's 1 set apiece. And then he beat me 7-5 in the third set to win this conference championship. Now, it sounds closer than it was. The match was over. I didn't know it back then when I saw those trophies. And I was crushed. I was humiliated. I'm a sophomore in college and I was in tears. And it was a crushing, crushing defeat for me. And my coach didn't help anything. My coach, not being politically correct, spent 3.5 hours on the van ride home trying to convince me what a head case I was and how I was a loser and all of this good stuff. Now, it took me months to get over that. But you see, what we have to do when we fail, when we have disappointments and setbacks, is we have to learn to look at what I did that didn't work, what you did that didn't work, what we need to do differently next time. Beating yourself up when you fail, there's no socially constructive, redeeming value in it. It does not help you perform better as an athlete. Getting curious and looking at what went wrong, that's what's important. And it took me a number of months to get over that loss and the embarrassment and the humiliation. Fast forward the next year, junior year, finals conference championship, I won that time. Finals senior year, conference championship, I won again as a senior. And I won as a junior and as a senior because I choked as a sophomore. And I had figured out what I had done wrong. I left the moment, my focus went to outcome, I got nervous, I got tight, and that was the end of it. And I learned from that failure how not to do that. This is the constructive value when we mess up. You've got to stay away from the emotions that come with setbacks, adversity, and failure, and you have to focus on what the lesson is and what you need to do differently next time. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the icon button, that bell icon. It'll let you know when I'm going to be posting again. Please leave me your feedback, your comments. I really want to make these sessions personal and relevant to you. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you soon.